Hey, if you're into art and the study of art, if you're into Charlie Peacock, Rookmalker, Francis Schaeffer, or Kemper Crabb, or people like that who dive into the meaning of art, you're going to love Rockstars on God, Volume 3. So today I'm going to highlight one of the interviews, which is a very special interview and chapter of Rockstars on God Volume 3, because it includes a hidden, lost treasure trove of an interview with Paul O'Neill, of all people, the founder of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I had not printed the whole interview back in 2008 or so, whenever this came out. And it was going to be like to be continued, and you'll see the rest on the website. And I dug through the old websites. You know, there's some way back machines, way back websites that'll go through and they'll find old, deleted websites and web posts. So I went through those because hmmagazine.com changed servers and it got redesigned. It was a completely different website. So some of those old archives are lost, but the cache stays on servers, and some servers, like those Wayback Machines, they find those places and they archive them for safekeeping. So I've dug through a lot of those archives, can't find a continued version of this Trans-Siberian Orchestra interview. So I thought, man, that really stinks. It's lost forever. But I wonder if I still have a cassette tape or a micro cassette tape, which I started using midway through my career with Heaven's Metal HM Magazine. And lo and behold, I found one. I found a plastic bag full of a couple dozen of these micro cassette tapes, and they're labeled. And I didn't quite see the label because it said TSO and the S looked like a 5. But I was like, wow, I found it. And I started playing it back, and I was like, this is great. And I was like, oh no, there's some glitches where it stops. So it took a long time, because when it came to a glitch or the tape just wanted to stop playing, I had to hit rewind and play again. I might play a little bit further this time, might do the same thing the next time, but subsequent tries I was able to transcribe and get every word he was saying. But anyway, Paul O'Neill, I asked him a question. I'm going to list off some bands or albums I want you to comment. And I listed off Dream Theater, you know, and I said, Bride, Tourniquet, Believer, or any number of Christian heavy metal bands. And he said, you know, I don't know enough about those bands. I don't know those bands to comment. And then later on, he went on a discourse about art. And he said, you know, the thing about art, and he'd go something like this. He'd go, oi, how do I explain this? Okay, there's 3 types of art. There's bad art, there's good art, and there's great art. And bad art is art that you look at and you just ignore. You just blow past it, like a painting you look at and you walk past it. Or a song, you just hit skip, or you just change the station, go on to something else. There's good art. And good art, he said, is art that will remind you of something you've experienced before. Like this painting or this story reminded you of you went fishing with your dad. And so that allows you to remember an experience you've had before. And he said great art is art that allows you to experience something you've never experienced before. And he talked about Michelangelo's Pietà, this sculpture where Mary is holding Jesus, the dead, crucified Jesus, in her arms. And he said his parents took him to that museum, and he saw that sculpture. And he said up to that point, he'd never thought about being a parent, never thought about being a child, never thought about the responsibility of having a child, and never thought about being a parent and losing a child. But when he stared into the eyes of Mary in that sculpture and looking at Jesus in the sculpture, he experienced an emotion that he'd never experienced before. And he pointed to that as great art. And how cool is that? I mean, just a little snippet of this lost Trans-Siberian Orchestra interview, which is kind of ironic because they have an album called The Lost Christmas Eve. So it's ironic that there was the Lost Trans-Siberian Orchestra interview that appears in this book. But anyway, so that's one reason why, if you're a fan of art and people that discuss the higher level meaning of art, you're going to love this book, specifically for that interview alone. But there's other interviews that they kind of will reach you and evoke something in you. So please, not only join the discussion, but go to the Kickstarter link that'll be on the end title page on this video and support this book. It's kind of like pre-ordering the book, but it's also a financing and helping crowdfund and get this book in print and in your hands before anybody else. Well, at the same time as your fellow co-supporters, but you'll be getting it way before any retail shops will get it. So thanks for listening, and please support Rockstars on God Volume 3. If not for yourself, get one for your local library, or get one for somebody you know is really into art. Think of it as a gift.